welcome to the new vlog of Fun Learning Channel.
We are the Group 2.
And we are going to discuss Building Goodwill through Public Relations.
Hope you enjoy!
This is Ira Bartolome and I am going to talk about the definition of public relations, the 3 important reasons to do public relations in a business, and the 5 public relations functions as a management incorporates. The formal practice of public relations, as noted by the Public Relations Society of America, dated as early as the 20th century. It has been understood in many different ways. Since then, with its definition evolving as the practice of public relations has changed. In 2012, the PRSA members has voted with one definition of public relations. Public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organization and its public. PRSA emphasized that it is a process of communication, strategic in nature, with a focus on mutually beneficial relationships. Next up, the 3 important reasons to do public relations in a business are as follows: damage control, branding, and internal communication. Let's talk about damage control. It is important to know how, when, where, and who to talk. Fake news can negatively affect a business very quickly, so a public relations personnel must implement their crisis management tactics in order to minimize the damage this news can have on the business. Next, branding. Sharing news, being transparent, and reporting positive figures regularly can build a world-class brand that is recognized across the globe and can sell products without the need for marketing and sales. Last reason is internal communication. As a company grows and opens offices in many different locations, it can be hard to share the same values and keep employees up to date with everything that is happening. A public relations department can help to manage this relationship to ensure that employees are all working toward a common goal. According to Smith 2013, public relations functioning as a management incorporates the following. 1. Anticipate, analyze, and interpret public opinion, attitudes, and issues that might impact, for good or ill, the operations and plans of the organization. 2. Counsel management at all levels in the organization with regards to policy decisions, courses of action, and communication, taking into account their public ramifications and the organization's social or citizenship responsibilities. 3. Research, conduct and evaluate on a continuing basis programs of action and communication to achieve the informed public understanding necessary to success of an organization's aims. 4. Plan and implement the organization's efforts to influence or change public policy. And lastly, setting objectives, planning, budgeting, recruiting and training staff, and developing facilities. Again, this is Ira Bartolome and I hope you learned something today.
Good day everyone, I'm Isabel Haravata. After defining public relations, we will now proceed on knowing the principles of public relations plan. But before that, let's define first what public relations plan is. Public relations plan is a strategy used to manage the public's perception of a person or organization. It is used to control how the public perceives them. It is about the image of a certain organization. The first principle is knowing the audience. When telling the audience a message, it is essential that it is in a way that they will understand it. Knowing your audience by conducting research will ensure that you provide and satisfy them with the kind of products and services they need. Be a patient storyteller. Many business wants to tell their story right now to be able to be part of discussion. But what they don't realize is that this impulsiveness may cause more harm than good because of going out with a plan that is half-baked. Take your time in making your plan for better results. Focus on outcomes over activities. The focus should be to the desired outcome and not the activities. Making unnecessary work and wasting resources is not a wise decision. Every activity being made should be aligned to desired outcomes and long-term plans that has been set. Difference between story and news. Public relations story is anything about your business, product, or service that you want the public to know. While news is the most common form of public relations, it involves storytelling. Whether you are creating a press release or simply giving information and updates, story is important to get public's attention. A good story becomes a tool to deliver message to a target audience. Go beyond the echo chamber. It is like thinking outside the box. It is essential that we focus in a broader market and do not neglect what the competitors are doing. Spending time knowing what others do can be a great help for your improvement and come up with a more precise plan. Be humble. Focus on your products, services, partners, and customers. Think about the things that make you great and be proud, but don't be boastful. Make use of your partners and customers to tell your services and products to be more known. Under-promise and over-deliver. Manage your customers' expectation by being straightforward. Do not tell something too far from what you can offer to avoid disappointment. Setting average expectations and going beyond it for good reputation. Have a call to action. This includes the action you want people to take to retain your relationship. It is like persuading or encouraging a customer who are familiar with your products to take a final action, like buying. Public relations is not an island. Public relations need to connect to others to do work more efficiently and to ensure that their plan still aligns the desired outcomes and long-term plans of the company. A public relations is not an island because other allied professionals play vital roles at the implementation of this planning. Require the requirements. Every plan must have its requirements, and if these requirements are not met, this is the time for you to think and choose whether to continue it or not. Meeting these requirements will be a great sign that your plan is good.
I am Nanette Arbanyas and I'm going to discuss planning for public relations.
Planning for public relations. Set up for success with a strategic planning, goals and objectives, and phases of designing programs. Planning. What is planning? Planning is a process of setting goals, developing strategies, and outlining tasks and a schedule to accomplish the goals. It is the process of deciding in detail how to do something before you actually start to do it, according to AMR 2018. Planning is one of the fundamental management functions. It is needed to be specific in details, just like who is going to do the plan, what is to be done, when it is to be done, and how it is to be done. Importance of planning. First, planning helps us stay focused with our goals and objectives. Planning gave us direction, and that direction involves our goals and objectives. Planning helps us stay focused on our end goal. Number 2, planning helps us determine our priorities in our life. Planning allows us to lay all the cards that we have, sort them, and teach us how to organize them. Thus, it reduces overload of activities and eliminates unimportant work. Number 3, planning helps us become efficient. Planning helps us eliminate unproductive work. Because of planning, we have an outline of what to be done and know our priorities, and through that, we save time that would have occurred if we don't have plan. It minimizes risk and uncertainty. Number 4, planning gives us direction for our future. Our plan that we make is a pick for our future. Planning helps us determine what the future we will have. Planning for public relations. Planning for public relations is a strategy used to supervise the relation of an organization to the public. And according to Torosian 2017, the company's PR plan also influences the branding and marketing, as well as the ability to recover from setbacks. Planning gives us direction and help us to be efficient. Just like as a public relation officer, planning is also important to be successful and have a guide in taking actions. The first plan for public relation is the needs of the environment. Knowing and understanding the need of the customer or the public itself will help us as a public relation officer to know what we need to do, the plans we need to implement for us to have a good relationship with them. Environmental specialist manages staff environmental conflicts. They serve as the mediator between the environmental issues and the public. Environmental specialists can be a big help in settling environmental issues with the public for us to accomplish our goals to have a good relationship with the public or the customers. The next one is the goals and objectives of the business. Goals, according to O'Neill 2018, can be somewhat abstract and big picture, but they set a wide overarching target for the company to set their eyes on as a whole. Goals tell us where to go, increases our effectiveness. It is our end goal for our future. Our objectives are specific plans to reach each of the company goals. It has set time and ways. Objectives tell us what specific thing we need to do to achieve our goals. As a public relation officer, we must understand the goals and objectives of the business so that when we are deciding on the path, align with the goals and objectives of the business. The next one is the objectives and the strategies of public relations. Objectives are tangible and should be achievable within a year or two. SMART method will help us in achieving objectives. Strategies are general approaches used to achieve objectives. The SMART method stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Make those objectives or goals achievable. Using this method, they will help us lay out strategies to achieve the objectives that we need to attain. The last one, designing public relations program. The phases of designing public relations program. The first two phases talks about identifying and listing out information or message of the communicator, and ascertain the existing image or awareness level about the issue in the target group or common public. As a public relation officer, one of the first things that we need to do is to end up with the information or message that we need to deliver to the public. But before that, we must identify if they are aware, for example, with our product that we sell to them. Identifying their awareness will help us decide whether we use information or messages that attracts them or make them loyal to our product. The next three phases. Number 3, developing of communication objectives and priorities. Number 4, developing the message and choosing the media transmit. Number 5, implementation of the message and media, coordination or dissemination of message. After knowing how aware the public, for example, for our product, designing and implementation of communication is next thing that we need to do. Choosing a media that has a good reputation will help us achieve our objectives in reaching to the public. The last two phases of designing public relations programs. Number 6, communication process to check whether message reached properly and expected action or behavior or knowledge and image factors. Number 7, in case the message did not reach properly, identify the reason for the ineffectiveness and rectification of the same and disseminate the revised message. The last two phases, it is an analysis after we implement our message to the media. It is like our evaluation if our plan is effective. For example, in our product, do we have an increase of customer after the media disseminate our product? So, these two phases serve as a result for our action. Thank you for listening. I hope you get some ideas from my discussion. Once again, good day.
Hi guys, I'm Maribel Pantoja and I'm going to talk about the essence of public relations in the performance of the duties of an administrative professionals. What is an administrative professional? Administrative professionals, sometimes called as administrative support specialists, plays various kinds of administrative assistance. They perform work that includes handling office tasks such as filing, generating reports and presentations, setting up for meetings, reordering supplies, transcribing minutes for meetings, creating presentations, and conducting research. They are a highly composed professional because they are the one in charge of greeting and assisting company visitors, customers, as well as managers, executives, and other staff. They are also a highly trained professionals who are equipped and proficient in technology. They are considered the frontline and back-end personnel of the company. That is why they are required to possess an effective public relations communication to help an institution create a social climate favorable for its growth. According to International Public Relations Association, public relation is a two-way process. On the one hand, it seeks to interpret an organization to society, while on the other, it keeps the organization informed about the expectation of the society. Fundamentally, public relation is a means by which an organization improves its operating environment. So, what are the essence of public relation in the performance of an administrative professional? The following are considered the essence of public relation in the performance of the duties of an administrative professionals. Number 1. As public relation deals with reality, administrative professionals should always be honest in the performance of his duties. Second, public relation is a service-oriented profession. That is why administrative professionals should welcome and treat visitors, guests, and employees of the organization without bias and prejudice. As said earlier, they are considered the front line and the back-end personnel of the company. Third, in choosing program or policy that a public relation may support, the public interest is the center of criterion, so an administrative professional should have the guts to disagree or refuse any false representation or an ill-minded ideas which may bring bad image to the organization. Fourth, administrative professional must be an effective communicator who know how to preserve the integrity of the different public channels of communication. Fifth, because the public relation practitioner serves as a bridge between the organization and the public,
An administrative professional should convey information back and forth until understanding is reached. 6. An administrative professional should only provide information with concrete basis. 7. The intuition of an administrative professional is not enough. 8. As public relations practitioner must adopt the work of other related disciplines, an administrative professional should be able to do multidisciplinary tasks. 9. Public relations are obliged to explain problems to the public before the situation becomes worse. That is why administrative professionals must be alert and advise the right persons ahead of time before the situation grows into crisis. Last, administrative professionals should have a good reputation and integrity he or she deserves. Thank you for watching. Hope you have learned something.